Hello, everyone, and welcome to Habitat for Humanity of Forsyth County's Partner Lending Track Orientation. We're so glad you've taken the time to join us today to learn more about this opportunity for affordable homeownership. At Habitat, we believe that everyone deserves a safe, stable, and affordable place to call home. Our mission is to bring people together to build homes, communities, and hope. And our vision is a world where everyone has an affordable place to live. Today's orientation is designed to help you understand the program, the qualifications, and what it means to be a Habitat homeowner. We want to make sure you have all the information you need before applying, and that you feel confident in taking the next steps toward homeownership. By the end of this session, you'll have a clear picture of what Habitat's homeownership program involves, what's expected of our partner families, and how this opportunity could help you build strength, stability, and self-reliance through affordable homeownership. So once again, welcome. We're excited to have you here, and we hope today's orientation will be both informative and inspiring as you explore the possibility of becoming a Habitat homeowner. Today we will start and talk about what is the homeownership program through Habitat Forsyth. The homeownership program provides income-eligible families the chance to purchase a home with an affordable 30-year mortgage at a below-market interest rate. The homeownership journey typically takes between 18 to 24 months. During this time, families participate in financial counseling, homeownership education, and volunteer hours known as sweat equity. These activities help families prepare for long-term success and show partnership in the process. We also review income and debt regularly to ensure families continue to meet the program requirements throughout the program. To qualify, applicants must have a stable income from employment or non-employment sources like Social Security, disability, or pensions. Families must demonstrate the ability to make full on-time mortgage payments that don't exceed 30% of their monthly gross income. Habitat Forsyth builds homes and partners with trusted builders who use established floor plans. These are not custom-built homes. While some limited choices like paint color or countertops may be offered, they are not guaranteed. What is guaranteed is a well-built, high-quality, and energy-efficient home that meets Habitat's safety and durability standards. We build 3, 4, and up to 5-bedroom homes based on family size and household needs. Children of different genders or the same gender within a 5-year age difference receive separate bedrooms. We also make accessibility modifications when needed for household members with disabilities. Our goal is to ensure that every family has a safe, comfortable, and appropriate place to call home. The homeownership program qualifications for the Habitat Partner Lending Track are listed on this screen. Primarily, you must be income eligible. To meet income requirements, you must fall within the 60 to 80% area median income with a minimum income of $50,000. And this is a household minimum income of $50,000. Applicants must qualify for financing through our third-party lending partner and agree to a low-interest mortgage opportunity. Currently, that interest rate is under 3%. You must have a debt-to-income ratio that falls at or below 36% and have a reasonable credit history. We do not look at credit scores, but we do look at credit history and your relationship with debt. You must be a U.S. citizen or permanent resident. You must live or work in Forsyth County and have a history of at least 12 months. You must be a first-time home buyer. We define that as not owning any property in the past 3 years. And you must provide evidence of legal separation or divorce if that is your case, and if your spouse is not participating as an applicant. We must get a release with a free trader agreement. The other qualification is that you must be willing to partner with Habitat Forsyth and agree to complete sweat equity hours, attend financial literacy classes, homebuyer education requirements, and by keeping information current through regular meetings and timely updates to our team. How do we define ability to pay? We look at that your income is steady, reliable, and verifiable. We do verify that you have a minimum of a 1-year history with either permanent employment, that can be part-time, full-time, retirement income, Social Security, or disability income. And if you are self-employed, you must show 2 years of tax verification, and that does include your Schedule C profit and loss statement. The 2025 to 2026 annual income guidelines are listed here. The max annual income is 80%, and you must have a minimum income of $50,000 to qualify for this track. Furthermore, if you are accepted into the program and are invited to our partnership agreement, you must have the ability to pay $130 at the letter of intent signing. You must also have the ability to save $4,000 throughout the lifespan of being in the program. This covers your closing costs and establishes an emergency savings for you and your family. You must also have the ability to pay on current collections and debt. Delinquent debt should not exceed $15,000. You must be making all minimum monthly payments, and you must not acquire any additional debts while you're in the program. We look at 2 additional things: your reasonable credit history and your willingness to partner. For reasonable credit history, we look at you having a satisfactory rental history. You will be required through the mini application phase to complete a landlord verification. If your landlord states that you have made late rent payments, please be sure to include a letter of explanation identifying the reason behind those payments being late. You must not have any unsatisfied judgments or liens. You must have no bankruptcies or foreclosures in the past 5 years. Your student loan debt must not be more than 1.5 times your annual gross income. Medical collections must be less than $5,000. Collections and charge-offs must be less than $15,000. And again, your debt to income ratio must be at or below 36% utilization. For willingness to partner, we look at your willingness to sign the letter of intent, which is all of our partnership agreements, your willingness to move where we are currently building, your willingness to provide accurate information, such as lost job or change of job, you receiving a raise or a decrease in salary, being or becoming legally married or divorced throughout the time in the program, and or expecting a child. You must be willing to work with staff and contractors and volunteers that are supporters of Habitat, and that may be while you are acquiring your sweat equity hours at any of our restore sites, construction sites, or any approved volunteering opportunities. And you must be willing to attend all required classes and make continuous progress on to complete all of your sweat equity hours. Sweat equity hours are gained in a variety of ways. One is the construction and building on your future home and or the home of other partner families. Supporting and completing a minimum of 20 hours at a Habitat Restore, which is a funding arm that supports Habitat's mission. Attending a number of financial literacy classes that are made available throughout your time in the program. And attending development classes that are additional opportunities for you to learn and get to know the community in Forsyth County. All of these opportunities are offered at various availability. For single head of households, you are required to complete 300 hours, and for dual head of households, you are required to complete 400 hours throughout the lifespan of the program. The application process is a 1 to 3 month process, and this is an overview of the flow. It starts with watching this orientation and learning about the program and its requirements. Once dates are made available, You will have dates for when the mini application is able to be picked up and submitted. The mini application can be picked up at our administrative office, 1023 West 14th Street in Winston-Salem, or at the gate after hours. You must submit all of the information by the deadline with a $65 fee per applicant. Your credit report will be pulled once your application is processed. Your household income will be calculated, your employment and landlord verifications will be reviewed and verified, and your credit will be reviewed for eligibility. If denied, you will receive a letter with the reason for denial. Those who meet the initial eligibility criteria will be called to complete an online full application. The full application invitation will come with a specific deadline to submit all the required documentations and to complete the online form. Everything must be submitted by the deadline provided to be considered. If there are any questions regarding your application or any areas that need clarification, a phone interview may be necessary. Full applications are then reviewed, and you will receive a response by mail if you were denied with the reason for denial. If you are approved, then you will also receive notification from Habitat letting you know that you have been accepted and invited to the letter of intent signing, which will be a session where we review our partnership agreements, your responsibilities, and Habitat's responsibilities throughout the process. After that is signed and agreed on, we get started. And the first class you must attend is the homeownership expectations class. During the mini application process, there are documents that will be required. We provide the mini application, the employment verification, and the landlord verification forms. These forms are the only forms that are accepted for these verifications. The mini application, please make sure that you fully review and fully complete all 6 sections of the application and sign before submitting. You will also be required to show 1-year continuous employment verification. And this is for all employed in the household. If you receive disability, Social Security, retirement pensions, income, you must then include award letters for the current year. If you have been at your current place of employment for less than 1 year, then you must submit 2 employment verifications or 3, depending on how many jobs you've had to make up for a 1-year continuous employment history. If you are self-employed, you must have 2 years of tax documentations with your 1099 and a Schedule C profit and loss statement attached. For your landlord verification, you must use the form provided. We understand that sometimes landlords are unwilling to complete the verification. If this is your case, then we will need a 12-month ledger showing payments history for, again, 12 months. If you have late payments that are present on this documentation, please be sure to include a letter of explanation. With the application, the mini application, on the due date, you must submit a $65 credit pull fee with the application. No personal checks are accepted, only cash or money order. Please ensure that your credit is not frozen during this time. Pulling a credit that is frozen will not allow us to see the information needed to complete your application. If you are invited to complete a full application, which will be online, but documents will need to be submitted in person in our office, you will be required to submit the following documents. We will need birth certificates for all individuals living in the home and listed on the application, verification of Social Security numbers for all living in the home and listed in the application. We will need a valid ID for all applicants. Please make sure that your name matches on your birth certificate, ID, and Social Security card. We will need to see the verification of income by submitting 4 of your most recent pay stubs for all individuals currently employed. We will need to see, if not already submitted, 2 years of previous tax documentation. And this will be for all individuals. We will need to see 2 years of income statements. We will also need a certified criminal report. This report will be required for all individuals in the home who are 18 and up. This will need to be requested at the courthouse. They currently have a cost of $25 each. You must bring the original copy for this. If you have any existing, past, or current charges on your criminal report, please include a letter of explanation for these charges. You must also submit verification of marital status. If you are married, divorced, or separated, we will need that documentation along with a free trade agreement if spouse is not an applicant. And if you are a veteran of the U.S. military, please submit your DD-214. The program timeline. When you start the program, you will have just signed the letter of intent and at the time have 0 sweat equity hours. We will consider any savings you have coming into the program as a jump start to your journey in homeownership. Your midpoint would be when you've completed half of your hours. If you were a single head of household, that would be 150. Double would be 200. And saved half of your savings goal, which is $2,000. At closing, you must have completed all of your sweat equity hour requirements and saved at minimum $4,000. The time frame for completing your sweat equity hours and the construction of your home is typically 12 to 18 months. Here are examples of previously built Habitat homes. We do have crawl space and slab foundations. The timeline for the program goes as follows. The application process can last anywhere between 1 to 3 months. Your sweat equity hours in the construction of your home can last anywhere between 12 to 18 months. And typically, the program timeline is anywhere between 18 to 24 months from initial application until completion of the homeownership program. There are some frequently asked questions that we often get about owning a Habitat home or a home with Habitat for Scythe. 1, if you buy a home from Habitat for Scythe, can you ever sell it? Yes. Homeowners may sell their Habitat for Scythe home at any time. However, Habitat for Scythe retains the right of first refusal to repurchase the home to preserve its affordable housing. Additionally, the mortgage includes a shared appreciation agreement, which means the homeowner shares a percentage of the home's appreciation with Habitat for Scythe over a set period, just typically 10 years, but can range anywhere between 10 to 15. Are there any other restrictions on owning a Habitat for Scythe home? Yes. Like most affordable housing programs, Habitat for Sight requires that all homes are owner occupied. Homeowners cannot rent out the home, leave it vacant, or use it primarily for business purposes. The property, house and yard, must also be well maintained. Once the mortgage is fully paid off, all of these restrictions are lifted. What happens if I can't work due to illness, injury, or reduced hours and can't pay my mortgage? If a homeowner experiences a temporary or permanent changes in income, Habitat for Sight will meet with them to discuss the situation and create a plan to help get payments back on track. We send monthly updates documenting progress and work closely with homeowners who demonstrate commitment and follow through and help them keep their homes. While foreclosure is never our initial course of action, continued failure to make payments may eventually result in foreclosure and loss of the home. What happens in the event of a homeowner's death? Does Habitat take back the house? No. Habitat for Sight does not automatically take back the home. In North Carolina, the home becomes part of the homeowner's estate, and ownership is transferred according to the homeowner's will or state agency laws if no will exists. Habitat strongly encourages homeowners to have a valid will in place to clearly identify who will assume responsibility for the home and any remaining mortgage balance that may exist. I already own land. Can Habitat for Sight build on it? No. Habitat for Sight only builds on land that the organization owns. This policy ensures that Habitat's investment and resources are protected from potentially liability and complications that can arise from building on privately owned property. Do I get to choose where I will live? Habitat for Sight acquires land through purchase or donation, and available lots are often limited based on affordability. Due to rising land costs and reduced land availability across our area, applicants must be flexible about where their future home will be located. Homebuyers will have the opportunity to select from Habitat's current or upcoming construction sites at the time of lot selection. However, specific locations cannot be guaranteed or promised at the time of application. Final placement depends on where Habitat is actively building when the family is ready. For any additional questions, please reach out to homeownership@habitatforsight.org or call 336-306-8402. We're available Monday through Thursday, 9 to 5 p.m., and please allow us up to 24 hours for a response to any emails or voicemails that are left. We will get back to you as soon as possible. We hope that this orientation has been helpful and informative. If you have any questions, please make sure to email us at the email listed on the screen or give us a call. Thank you so much.